Welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Reshaping Business with Integrity, the podcast where you explore how to run your business authentically and with integrity. I'm your host, Elisa Bogarts, a business coach and launch manager, helping coaches launch their programs and events that align with their business values. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to building a successful business without sacrificing morals, ethics, authenticity, or heart. Let's dive in. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about how purpose-driven experiences create profit, impact, and joy. And my amazing guest with me is Lori McDowell. And Lori is the Profitable Experience Catalyst and CEO of Reimagine strategies. She helps women business coaches grow their income, impact, and community through transformational retreats and immersive experiences designed to create both purpose and profit. Lori is the author of the Reinvention Mindset. She's a speaker and a host of Journeys of Impact, where she highlights extraordinary people creating meaningful change around the world. And I've been on her show, so I hope everybody goes checks it out. We'll definitely link that in the show notes. Welcome, Lori. I'm too excited to have you here.
Hi, Lisa. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so much fun how we were just on the marketers cruise together, and then while on the cruise, we're filming the show for your Journeys of Impact. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, yeah, it was definitely fun to need to go on another cruise so I can film some more episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love how that show is all about like journeys and travel, but also entrepreneurship and making extraordinary impact. So it's pretty cool. So tell us about how you got into this field of work and why you're so passionate about it.
Sure. Yeah. So, like you, I worked in corporate America for many years and ended up leaving in a rather surprising way. I was actually fired from a job in a horrible fashion, but we're not going to dwell on that. But after I got fired, I actually was thinking about my life, and I realized that, I knew I had a purpose back from when I was in college. I knew I had a purpose. I actually one time was in this like almost car crash where I did a complete 360 and somehow like I went across 5 lanes of traffic and didn't hit anything. I'm like, I was saved for a reason. This was like a crazy story. And I felt like I always had a purpose and I never knew what it was, and I looked for it at jobs and everywhere else. And when I got fired, suddenly it was clear, like, what your purpose is. Your purpose is to be the person you are and your authentic self and to do what's important to you. And I decided I was going to start living that purpose. And that's what I did. Yeah. And from that, I ended up realizing that Done for You retreats, running retreats, took all the things I love to do, all my skills, and helped me build a successful business that makes an impact and helps other people do that too. So it let me expand my impact.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I love retreats. They're so much fun. The first retreat, what was the first retreat? Well, one retreat that I went on was in Costa Rica. And on that was actually a coach who taught me how to do retreats, which was so much fun. So I got to learn how to run them and I got to be in one, which was awesome. So I love how retreats, there's something that you can mix and match and kind of make it your own, and you can, and it's all about the experience, and they all sort of have some type of theme, and they can be anywhere in the world. They can even be online, but I think it's so much more fun to do them in a location.
I agree. Yeah. I think that being at, and even if it's a local location, but being together with people where you can, you can hug them, you can do things together, you can really be in the same room is really important.
Yeah. And I love, we were just at an event called the Soulful Leadership Retreat. And I loved in the end that throughout that towards the end, they were talking about we're going to rename this because it's not actually
not a retreat. No,
not a retreat. So they're calling it an experience, but it was basically kind of like a conference. It was like a partnership kind of conference.
Yeah. It had
so how would you define
parts of it?
Yeah. There was little parts of it. Yeah. How would you define what a retreat is?
Yeah, I mean, the important things in a retreat are, one, a retreat has to let you get away from the day to day. So that's why virtual retreats are hard because, if you are doing a virtual retreat, take your laptop and go somewhere else in the house. Don't
Yeah, get an
you kind of
Airbnb or
have
something.
that container that's different. It's something that takes you out of the everyday. The other thing a retreat needs, which is why soulful leadership is not really a retreat, is it needs the time and the space to process. And if you're going from one thing to another thing to another, there's no time there. I mean, a retreat actually has to have time for you to think about what you have, to experience it, to integrate it into your life.
Mhm.
And then I think a retreat, really the best retreats have to have fun in them. They have to have some kind of activity that's gonna, a fun adventure, something that's gonna make you laugh, something that's gonna connect with people, a way to bring the community together. So those are like some of the big parts that make something a retreat.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, some of the retreats I've been on, they've even given you just sort of free time. So if you wanted to go explore wherever you were, you could do that too. If you want to do that on
Mm-hmm.
your own with a couple other people, or you could do an organized activity, or you could just go chill or get a massage or just relax
Right.
or
Yeah.
whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And that's for me, for my retreats and the ones I do for my clients, I kind of two things I add to them that make them kind of a little bit next level. And we're going to talk kind of about one of them, but one of them is I think the retreat has to have something to do with where you are, some kind of interaction with the community. So, like, going to a Ritz Carlton beautiful resort and not leaving the resort isn't really it's you can do a retreat there, but I think stepping it up, you go out and you do something local. And
Yeah.
it could be anywhere. You could be in a city and you could go to watch a graffiti artist or something, or you could be go um experience an amazing hike or something. It has to have some kind of activity that lets you experience where you are. And then the other thing that I include in retreats, which I think brings them up to premium for people, is a give back event where you actually have to give back to, whether it's a community or a local event. Like, we've done a retreat in Fiji where we spent a day at an orphanage playing with the kids, hearing about what they wanted to do. When we were in Honduras, we did a beach cleanup. We did a team building retreat one time where we put everybody in teams, had them build bicycles as a team building competition. And then we took the bicycles and brought them to, like, kids who were living at a home and gave the bicycles away. That give back event really brings the retreat up to the next level because the people connect with the local, they're doing something good, and they get more out of it.
Oh, I love that. That's such a great idea. Wow. And yes, you've like, it's nourishing in many ways. You're nourishing yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you're like, taking yourself out of your norm. You're likely traveling somewhere fabulous and you're kind of getting that, that sort of respite. But then you also get to do something for the local community where you are, and it's really impactful to them, which is super cool. That's such a great
Mm-hmm.
idea. I love that. That definitely makes it more premium for sure. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah. You're selling that, you're selling, yes, you're getting to do something for yourself, but you're doing something for someone else. And that people are really willing to pay more for that. And it's a way for the host to feel like they're really having a big impact, because so many of the hosts are heart centered and often we want to give stuff away.
mm,
This way, they're giving stuff away to the people who really need it.
right.
And the other people are paying for them, which really gives the people coming. I mean, I think paying for a retreat is part of the retreat because you're investing in yourself. If someone gives you a retreat, it doesn't have the same impact.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Good point. Very good point. So, this season's all about scaling on your terms. So I'd love to know how you have scaled on your terms.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess first, knowing what my terms are has been really important. Knowing what my values are, my why, and what's important to me.
Mm,
And then, to scale my business, I really looked at that and said, okay, these are the things that are important to me. These are the things I love. And then what are the things I'm good at? And use that to figure out how to scale my business, really. So putting all that together, it's like, okay, I tweaked a little bit what I was doing because what I was doing didn't hit all those things. It wasn't something I maybe loved, or it wasn't something. But when I found all of those, it actually became much easier to scale and to be true to myself because I knew I was aligned with my values. I knew I was doing things I loved. I knew I was doing things I was good at. And because of all that, it was much easier to do it. It was much easier to sell it. It was much easier to talk about it. And it was really fun to run the business. So making sure you're aligned with your values and what you love doing and what you're good at, putting those
Mm-hmm.
together really makes it a lot easier and more fun to scale because you're doing something that just lights you up every day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we want, right? Like, what does light you up? I mean, sometimes I get stuck on that question. I'm like, I don't know what lights me up. And then the other day I was doing something and I was like, oh, I feel lit up right now. I'm like, remember this. Write
Write that down.
this down. This is the thing. And I can't remember it all the time. So, I know that you often talk about sort of this quote unquote of doing good while doing well. So, how can our business owners, really create both meaningful impact and strong revenue at the same time?
Right. Yeah. It really is a little bit of a mindset shift. And it's kind of, like I said, kind of related to what we're talking about the retreats, but so many of us are heart centered and we started our business because we want to make a difference in the world. Yes, we want to make money, but we also want to have an impact. And a lot of business owners, they want to make an impact, so they want to give stuff away, and nobody signs up for their program, and their first inclination is, oh, I'll lower the price.
Mm.
And that really doesn't serve anyone because first, if you lower your price, you make less money. And if you make less money, chances are your business is going to make it. And if it
Yeah.
does, you're always going to be scrimping and saving, and you can't have that impact you want. Also, people, when they're getting stuff at a lower price or free, or, and people keep dropping their price, they don't see the value. And when you don't see the value, you don't like if I pay $10,000 for a program, I know I'm going to attend every meeting, do everything they say. I'm going to really focus on it. If
Yeah.
I pay $200 for a program, I might skip them. So
Mm.
I'm not getting the value because I didn't invest in myself. So the whole doing good while doing well is you put together your premium package, whatever you sell, and you make sure it's full of value and you make sure it's got what people need and you market it that way. And you include some type of a give back in it, whether it's maybe 10% goes to a charity, or you could actually do an actual event. And this way, you're giving to the people who need it the most. You're not giving to someone who's trying to build a business that really doesn't benefit from the give back. They benefit from paying that money and from investing and from taking all the value out of the program. They also benefit because they get to give back. So by building some type of give back, some type of philanthropy into your programs where that money goes to the people who really do need it the most, you're actually doing good, but you're also doing well because you're making that a premium product that people will pay for. And they might even pay more because they get to give back too. So it's like a different mindset shift where you're still giving things away. You're doing philanthropy, but you're doing it to the people who need it the most, and
Right.
encouraging the other business owners, entrepreneurs to join you in that program.
That's such a great idea. I'm like right now thinking about launching like a sort of like a membership style thing. And I don't have that giving back part. So I'm gonna have a little think about that, being like, where could I give back? How could I do it? And make sure that it's kind of like aligned with what the program's about. Um, yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, like even I know one of the people I work with, like they've done it's funny, they did like just a short, a little program, and they actually had it where, they were going to charge like $20. And it's funny, they offered the program for free, or they said you could pay $20 and we'll donate that $20 to a nonprofit. And more people paid $20 than took it for free,
Really
which is
interesting.
interesting. So yeah, so people will really, they want to give back. So that kind of helps them, it gets people a lot. And I think they got more people to sign up because of that, because they felt like, okay, I'm $20, I'll give to a charity and I might as well sign up and attend.
Very cool. It's an awesome idea. I love that. I'm gonna think about that. So let's go back to like retreats and so like why are retreats and these really immersive experiences? Why are they becoming such a powerful growth strategy for women business coaches today?
Right. I mean, a part of it is, I think there's still that, even though, God, it was like 5 years ago, the backlash from the whole COVID, people like got so isolated and lost that contact
Yeah.
that they really want, people like human contact. And then I think the other of it, in this whole age of I mean, content can be created without anybody, content can be created without people. You can actually
Right.
do stuff. I mean, people can even be created without people. Yet there's no AI in the world that could, take you and put you in a place and have you do hiking together or have, a yoga or a sound bath. I mean, it's the real human connection. So I think that's why it's so important because we're getting together with other people, and then you really get to know people when you're away with them doing things. And a lot of retreat activities might be uncomfortable, or to get a transformation, you kind of often have to go through that deep spot or that dark spot. But
Hmm.
when you connect with people on that level, you get so much of a deeper connection that you learn to trust them, you get to know them, and it's really easy to do business with them afterwards, to partner, I had a retreat last year, and it's funny because I decided I was doing the retreat more to get some video, and so I wasn't going to make any kind of offer at the retreat. Yet I made money from people who came to the retreat, got to know each other, and were selling things back and forth between them. And I was just getting the affiliate stuff from them. But
Oh,
because they
cool.
connected with each other, it's like, oh, I really like this. I want to take your program. Because it's just when you get to know people, you see what they do, and it's just a great way to grow your business through those connections, through your partnerships, and also when you do make an offer at a retreat, people, if you're a host, people already they came there to be with you, to learn from you. And by the end of 3 to 6 days, they want more of that. So having something at the retreat that's going to give them more of that connection to you, like they're ready for that. So having that
Right.
there to offer it, it becomes a really easy thing to sell to grow your business. Like conversions at retreats are often above 50%.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because some of the ones I've been to, they haven't sold. And I wonder if that was maybe a bit of a miss on their part. But yeah, I know
Yeah.
like obviously like they did afterwards, like because you're on the email list and things like that. But
Right.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
people are like, because it's fun because they're having such a great experience, and you're almost doing them a disservice by not giving them that next step.
Mm,
Like, because
yeah.
otherwise, it's like you go to this great place and you have an incredible experience, and then they send you back to your day to day.
Mm,
It's much better for the attendees that they have, okay, I'm going back home, but I know in 2 weeks I'm going to be doing this with the same group of people or with a lot of the people. So it's kind of that something to look forward to. Even if you're
yeah.
just selling the next retreat, it's something to, people can then plan for that next one.
Yeah, yeah, good point. Yeah, and it's that's something that I really noticed, even on going on like the cruises and trips and stuff that we've been on. Like that's almost it's not a retreat, but it's got some elements of it in terms of that
Mm-hmm.
experiential thing where you go on these excursions or you do these things and you hang out with somebody that takes you out of that kind of environment. And yeah, there's many people that really strengthen the relationship and move like, hey, like I like hanging out with you, and because of that, now I also want to support you even more. See how what we can do in business in terms of things like that. And one of the retreats I went to, like there was a little group of us and we become friends and we like, have like our monthly Zoom chat and just catch up. And there's nothing about business at all. It's just about us being friends. And it was like, oh, this is wonderful. And I don't think that would have happened if we didn't experience this, have that experiential experiences together.
Mm-hmm.
Immersive experiences. That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
Hmm. Um, You seem to focus heavily sort of on the sales side of experiences. So, how often can a retreat become a powerful platform for those authentic high ticket sales? I guess you kind of just talked about that a little bit, but
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because, well, I worked a lot of my corporate job was in sales. So
okay.
and I mean, sales is important, but sales is also like your service. But for me, retreats are interesting because if you break the sales cycle, you've got lead generation, and then you've got the actual sales, and then you've got fulfillment.
Yeah.
And a retreat is like the one place where you can actually do all of them because you've got the
Hmm.
people that are new to your world that have never been there, and they're getting lead generation. You're meeting them, you're getting to know them. And then you've got the selling, people who you're selling to, people that are there. And then you've actually got people who are already in your world, your existing clients, people maybe that are in a mastermind, and they're getting fulfillment. So people, you're getting lead generation, you're doing fulfillment, and you can do sales all at one event. And it's kind of an interesting thing, because if you bring together people like in all different stages, like I think having existing clients retreat with new clients or prospects, or people are just bringing their friend that may not know you at all, and having that mix together really makes it very powerful. And I think you can do it like, I mean, at least twice a year, I would
Yeah.
say. Some people do them maybe once a quarter, depending on how big your community is. But
Hmm.
a lot, I would say twice a year. Retreats are great to do like at the beginning and the end of a mastermind, or like a 6-month mastermind with a retreat.
Like you
Kick
were
off the
saying.
next 6 months and finalize the last to bring them together. So anywhere from once a quarter to once a year, I would say in there.
Yeah. 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 Um, and yeah, that's so interesting. I never thought about the fact that all three of those things are happening at the same time. And especially like if you have your existing clients who are getting the fulfillment there at the retreat and there's newer people, they're going to be raving about you. Like they're your raving
Mm-hmm.
fans, right? They've already signed up to your
Right.
stuff and they want to go on retreat with you. And now they're traveling with you. And like, they can't get enough of it and they want to sop up everything. So they're like your best, like they're giving
Yeah,
case
really.
studies and
They're
testimonials without you even trying. These
exactly.
people are just having these conversations and being like, oh yeah, I've been in a program forever, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, and I think also like, word of mouth is a really great way to get more people into your world, to convert those leads. And if you're all
Mm-hmm.
hanging out in a retreat, that's going to happen naturally.
Definitely. Yeah, it will, because
Organically.
people are going to connect and they're going to be talking about it. And other people are going to be like, oh, when people in a group and they're all talking about this, or, oh, where was that? I want to go there. So,
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah. Um, so for if someone is thinking about doing a retreat, you have a coach who's like, I think I might want to be doing this. I want to host my own, as opposed to just going to them. What's that sort of first step of turning that idea into a really profitable experience?
right. The first step, and I think the most important step, is to figure out why you want to have a retreat and what the purpose is. Because if you just say, I want to have a retreat, and you pick a location and you book a hotel, you book a place, and then you try to fill the retreat, you're going to have a really hard time filling the retreat, because you might get some people who've said, oh, I always wanted to go here, so they go to it, but they don't know what the purpose is. A retreat with a purpose, where it's clear like who is the retreat for, what they're going to get from it, why you're hosting it, is so much easier to book, because people know what they're going to get. They know if they fit there. So that's really important. And then, so I think often people focus on the logistics first,
Mm,
and they don't focus on why they're doing it. And that makes it hard to fill. So
oh,
that's the
good point.
first step, I always think. And, let's figure, I mean, when I work with somebody doing a retreat for them, the first thing I ask them is like, why do you want to have a retreat? And if they can't answer that, we figure that out before we go any further.
Nice. Yeah, great idea. Yeah, it's kind of like the same sort of process that you do when you're even starting your business or creating a new program. You always got to tap into that, right? Like, why are you doing what
Mm-hmm.
you want? Why do you want to do it? What's this purpose? Um, yeah, and I think from there, like once you have that, that's kind of like the foundation, because then you can figure out what the experience, right? Like the immersive experiences are going to be like, and even what the best location might be, and like, what type of um place that you want to stay at. Does it fit
Yeah.
better with a hotel, or does it fit better like in the jungle? Like, are you sleeping
Mm-hmm.
on hammocks? Are you in tents? Are you in like, are you
Right.
glamping? Like what are you doing?
Yeah. Everything, everything comes from that, because then you figure out who comes. And based on that, okay, well, where's my budget? Because you can do you can do a retreat for a 2-day retreat in a local place for probably about $500 a person, 600, less than 1,000. And you
Yeah.
can do a retreat that's 20,000, and everywhere in between. And who's coming to it's going to make a difference. Where you want to do it. Everything goes around that purpose. And and even what happens at the retreat, there's a whole, put together a whole arc of like just like for an event, there's a
Hmm.
plan. There's, you don't just throw people in and start doing a transformational work on day one. Day one is like the get to know you, the let's see what your goals are kind of thing. And you
Hmm.
kind of figure out that whole process there, putting together the activities and the time. So it is a lot of art to get, like it's not, I mean, you can have, like I said, I've been to retreats that had none of this and they were good, but they weren't the retreats that I really remember.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And the ones that you want to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, thanks for all of this. So, yes, if you are thinking of doing a treat, take that action, go figure out why you want to do it, what it's all about, what is the purpose of it, who do you want there, and then that'll be your good starting point. And then, yeah, I suggest you reach out to Lori. So, how can our listeners find you online, or what would be a great thing? I know you had a gift that you wanted to give them.
Right. Yeah. They can find me online. My website has lots of information about retreats, about everything I do, about how to get in touch with me, and even has all like my gifts on it. And it's your extraordinary or extraordinary, but yourextraordinarylife.net. So extraordinary is spelled extraordinary. So yourextraordinarylife.net. That has everything. And the gift that I have here is called Retreats Done Right, Your Path to 100K with
100K.
Heart. And
Yeah.
it's really how to talks a little bit about, it's a 5-step checklist about the things to get started on a retreat where because you want your retreat to be profitable and impactful. And this
Hmm.
kind of helps you do that. Like that, my business is helping people do their own retreats. Done for you, even run for you. Because if the one other tip I would say, whether you're working with someone like me or you're doing it on your own, is you don't want to be the only one at your retreat that's working at it. I mean,
Mm.
you don't want to be in the middle of a transformational journey, taking someone through an experience and have to stop because the toilet's overflowing or someone twisted their ankle and needs medical. You want to have a helper, someone, whether it's a facilitator like you've hired, someone like what my company does, or whether it's a friend who's going to be committed to not just attending the retreat but doing all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's totally something to consider. I remember someone told me once that they were doing some retreats, and then once, I think it was like in Italy or something, and they were like, they booked a house, and they were like, well, you know what? We could do all the cooking and the cleaning. Yeah, we could just do that. And then they said it was an absolute disaster. People were complaining, stuff wasn't happening. And then they were like, constantly running around doing that. And they didn't get any break at all because, like, when everybody else was resting or doing whatever activities, they were like,
Yeah, they're washing
rushing,
dishes.
cleaning, washing dishes. Yeah. And so, yeah, it just turned out it was just not a good experience. So, even something like that, yeah, like definitely have someone there. Make sure you have the help that you need. And because you want to also, like, yes, you're working, but you also want to have some downtime, and you're probably going to be going through a bit of a transformation yourself too. So,
Yes.
get the help 100%. Awesome. Well, thank you, Lori. This has been a great discussion. I love discussing retreats, and I'm like, love that you do that for them and help people just, yeah, because I think it can be such a big, daunting thing for people. So if you can hire someone to just, either like run it for you or do it done for your retreats, then that's just
Yeah,
so
you'll get
powerful.
much more out of it if you're not dealing with all the details, and you'll get a lot of experience that you may not know, because there are so many things that I didn't know until I started doing this a lot. And now it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, but thank you too. This was a great conversation. I always love talking with you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically. So please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you, be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa, signing off authentically.